It is preparing. It'll just take another second or two. And you are live.
All right. Thank you, Eileen. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Oh, do we have a quorum? Um,
We do.
oh, Peter. Hey, yeah. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Before we get started, I'd like to welcome you all, and I do need to read something very quickly before we get started, or actually, as part of our start. Um, okay, here we go. So, Um, just call the meeting to order. So I'm going to take roll call. So I keep going back and forth. See you, Vern and Brad and Peter. Hello, Peter. And Eileen's on the call. She'll be assisting us with our um, meeting in the next, our short meeting for the afternoon. All right. So call meeting. So due to the, I need to read this now. So due to the provisions of the governor's executive orders N-25-20 and N-2920, which suspend certain requirements of the Brown Act and the order of the health officer of the county of Sonoma to shelter in place to minimize the spread of COVID-19, the SRTVIA will be conducting today's meeting in a virtual setting using Zoom webinar. Committee members or board members and staff are participating from remote locations and or participating appropriate social distancing. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting as noted on the city's website and as noted on the agenda. Members of the public wishing to speak during the particular item, public comment, or during our public hearing items, which will be able to do so by utilizing the raise hand feature, their hand, or pressing *9 on their phone. They then will be given the ability to address the board. Do we have, let's see, it says here announcements, public comments. Do I stop there? Eileen, do I stop there? Can't see Eileen.
Sorry, I muted myself and I was talking. What we have next will be if there are any public comments that are unrelated to today's item.
Okay, here we go. If you wish to make any comments via Zoom, please select the raise hand button. If you're dialing in via telephone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Each speaker has 3 minutes. A countdown timer will appear for the convenience of the speaker and viewers. Please make sure to unmute yourself when you're invited to do so. Your microphone will be muted at the end of the countdown. Recording secretary?
At this time, we do not have any raised hands.
Okay, great. All right, so basically we just have one item this afternoon. We'll be talking about the minutes from our previous meeting at the September meeting, as well as follow up to that application that is being considered, and that was discussed back at that previous meeting of a few days ago. But the item that we have on the agenda today is item number 3, which is the review and approval of the 2019-2020 annual report and the 2020-2021 work plan. Hoping that you all have had an opportunity to review both the report and the work plan. And Eileen, I think we are going to have the report appear on the screen. And again, as I mentioned, hopefully you've had a chance to review it. It's not a very lengthy document. We do started it off with some information pertinent to COVID. I didn't necessarily want to go that heavy into it. We had a pretty decent year as of 2019. it's very unfortunate that now we're in this on this chaotic situation. But the report, it's demonstrating that there were lots of accomplishments, and it provides a pretty good outlook on what the hospitality industry did in Santa Rosa during the year of 2019. Um, page 5 highlights the assessment actuals by quarter, and we do report the quarter for 2020. We might have the information related to quarter 2, but again, even though the city's fiscal year expands over to June 30th of 2020, this is Santa Rosa's fiscal year is for the entire 2019. So at next year's report, most likely, obviously, we'll report more information related how COVID has impacted our industry here in Santa Rosa. So the table below that assessment actuals by quarter is the program expenses, and that was in the previous draft that we uploaded during our last meeting. The section where I go into tourism economics, I honestly take a lot of that information from the 2019 EDB's hospitality report. It's a very robust report, and I do quote the sources. So on this report, that most of that information is from that report. We do talk a little bit. There's a table there on page 10 where we highlight the TOT. And forgive me, Eileen, if I'm going too fast here, but we do report on this particular report the 2020 quarter 1. We might already have the information for quarter 2, but we'll decide if we're going to include it or not. It's not. It is somewhat relevant, but we usually, by the time this report goes out and presented to the council, we don't even have those numbers yet. So we'll either include them or leave them out, but obviously they'll show up next year. And then in terms of accomplishments, there was a lot of accomplishments conducted in terms of from our end. And then there's also, you see the listing there from Visit Santa Rosa. They have a section on, there's a section on sales, marketing, advertising, public information. I think at the previous draft did leave something out related to marketing and advertising. So we went ahead and included that, and as well as the highlights or the accomplishments under the California Welcome Center. There were also lots of articles, so that is wonderful. Santa Rosa is still a destination. People love coming here, and we hope that this continues the trend that we have been experiencing, and particularly after the 2017 wildfires. The section, Eileen, sorry again if I'm going too fast, page 18, the shared accomplishments. I actually had an issue there with formatting the table. There's another graphic that I don't see, but we'll make sure that it's on there. And then I also went ahead and provided the amounts that were given to Country Summer, Snoopy's Senior, World Hockey, Battle of the Bruce, etc. So you'll see that on the final report. And then the reason we wanted to have this special meeting was also to just give you an update on our budget, which is now adjusted per COVID. And there you can see that is a significant change. It's been reduced in some areas. And again, this will be adjusted as the situation continues to develop. And hopefully, we see a vaccine in the near future. And at some point in the near future, we can all go back to some sort of normalcy. Okay, and then the last item is just page 21 and 22, which are Visit Santa Rosa initiatives. So Brad was kind enough to go ahead and give us some of that insight on the report as well. All right, so pretty much that's it. That will be the report that we'll be presenting to the council. And this usually goes up as a consent item since we've done so many presentations in the past. There might be an opportunity if there's some sort of question that any city council member may bring it out and ask questions about it. So on August 18th, we're prepared to go to the council and be ready in the event that they have questions available for us. At this point, I'd like to see if you have any questions or any comments, and then we'll be ready to move into making a motion to accept the report if you don't have anything in particular to discuss.
Rafael, I just noticed that there's a couple places where there's a soft copy comment on there. I think it might have been something from Rosa or another person that you might want to just clean up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So like on page 5 in the table, 20 under the date 2020 Q1, it looks like there would be a comment there on a
right
on a different draft, and there's something similar on page 8. So just cleaning up little things like that. But
okay, yes.
But other than that, I think it's a good report, and thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think so. We'll take notice of that and clean it up, and then also include most likely the Q2 updates, since I think we may already have those.
We
Okay,
have
so
partial for Q2. We don't have full numbers for Q2 yet, but if they come in, then of course.
Okay, thank you. All right. So I'd like to move forward to make a motion and approve.
Pardon me, Chair Rivero, public comments. We do have an individual who would like to make a comment.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if there aren't any other questions from the board, I'd like to open it up for public comments at this point. I don't know who.
Perfect. Just and Mr. Fraser, you're able to speak or unmute yourself.
Thank you. I have.
Wonderful. Your time begins now.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to share our opinion in the spirit of cooperation to make sure that our government is transparent and efficient and appropriate. And so thank you for Rafael for the fine layout of this report. I didn't have a lot of time to compare it to my notes from the last year's report since I just received the report yesterday. But in the spirit of working together, I'll be able to come back around on August 18th to provide our commentary. Okay, so on the first page, we see that it's misrepresented what the BIA is. It's actually a self-assessment on the lodging facilities. On the page under the effects of COVID, we note that there's a 12% worker filing for unemployment. It's interesting that it's as low. It's horrible that it's anything, but there it is. It probably underlies the difference between hospitality as far as tourism and hospitality as far as residents and essential workers. And so in the second to last paragraph, you draw that corollary, and that's probably not as correct. The boundaries, okay, but it's worth noting here that the people that are ensnared in this taxation scheme are not included on the board. In fact, you should attach a copy of the ordinance so that the council members can see what's going on. There's no mention of how the composite of those rooms and who brings what to the table as far as hotels and motels and what have you. There's no ROI on this. We see that over $15 million was spent on the scheme so far, and there's not really a whole lot to show for it. we'll have questions about the event support and attraction. It's good, Raphael, that you're going to list the events and the money they received. If you could also include the room nights that they submitted for those disbursements, that would be helpful. On page 6, we see merchandise sales. Typically, merchandise sales are treated like a gross income or net profit or something like that. Usually also hand in hand with merchandise sales is inventory. None of that is present here. We do see certified folder contract fees of $6,000. That'll be important in a minute. On page 7, there definitely are changes to the boundaries that are coming from the public, as well as changes to the method and basis for levying the assessment. You're right, the next few pages of 8, 9, 10 just seem to be cut and paste materials from your overlapping partners, Sonoma County Tourism and other sources. Pages 11 don't have a whole lot of faith in your ability to have branding, deliver, and ROI. We get into the Visit Santa Rosa area, and we would certainly have concerns about whether the information is factual and correct, especially when we get to the 50,000 visitors at the center. That's 140. That's 140 people a day on average. The top articles tend to be just work product from another overlapping agency. And like I said, it'll be great to see what's going on. Also on the budget amounts, the HR or the personnel costs should be broken out of those budgets going forward, as well as the budgets that you're reporting on from your financial performance. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and there'll probably be more than with the report submission.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frazier. All right, so at this point, I'd like to move forward and pass a motion to approve this report, as well as the work plan for 2020-2021.
So moved.
Okay, somebody want a second? Fine.
I second, yes.
Okay, so motion is approved to move forward with the annual report for SRTBIA 2019 to 2020, and to accept the work plan for 2020-2021. Thank you. Motion passes. All those in favor, sorry. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. So that adjourns our meeting. Thank you all very much, and I'd like to welcome you all to be at the August 18th City Council meeting and provide comments if you wish to do so. So thank you all, and stay safe.
Thank you, Raphael.
Yeah. Thank you.